If you have some
Neat.
form of romantic interest or romantic attachment towards an individual of your own species, and you see an individual of another species
Now I
who's
understand.
trying
I understand where
to
we're
come
coming from
closer,
here.
and you will know that they might be violent or in a sense
Yep.
exploitative towards somebody who you have a romantic interest towards, would you not try to protect them?
I would, but I can say one thing.
There you
here.
go.
Wild
That's
animals.
exactly what the board
Hold
would
on.
do.
Wild animals are wild. They don't have love interests.
Cows are not wild.
You're... What?
Do you think cows are wild animals?
Not being in a shed with a ton of cattle, then.
Do you think cows are wild animals? What do you
They
take a
are
wild animal to mean?
animals. I don't
What do you take a wild animal to mean?
Cattle are wild
Daniel,
animals, mate.
alright.
I don't know if you're hearing yourself here.
Lucas,
I don't
what do you
think we're
think?
going to be able to have a conversation with somebody who doesn't understand that cows are domesticated.
Because I'm winning.
Winning what, Daniel? Sorry,
Yeah.
Winning the war! Sorry.
Yeah, this is not a it's not a vegan versus non-vegan like battle.
Come on, Eska!
Yeah, it's just I don't understand when people, oh yeah, but I'm winning. Like, we're just having a conversation. Like, at the end of the day, the only winners or losers in this situation are the animals. And like, at the end of the day, you're saying that beating a dog is abuse, but then sending a cow into a slaughterhouse isn't. Like, what is with that? And you can't even name the morally relevant difference between the dog and the cow. It's just, and also you worked on a farm and you don't understand that cows are domesticated. Come on. Cows are not wild animals. Neither are pigs, neither are chickens. Right?
Yeah, it's a
They're
simple
wild
Google
ancestors.
search. Yeah, a simple
Yeah,
Google
their
search
wild
can do that.
ancestors lived in nature. They existed in nature. Farmed animals aren't wild animals. Yes, they are domesticated. Jesus. I can't believe I'm having to teach somebody who's been a farmer this. Jesus. Anyway, we are going to move on. Well. So that's the name of the person that I'm getting up. I'm not just saying well. Hey, are you over 18? Hello?
Yeah.
Perfect. Sorry,
Hello?
I think there might be yeah, can you hear me? I think there might be a bit of a delay.
No, that's fine on my end.
Yeah, I think I'm asking you a question, then it's taken like 5 seconds or something. I think there might be a bit of a delay. If it carries on, I might have to drop you and then get you back up to see if it's improved.
Is that better now?
We can try. So yeah,
Okay,
before you
yeah.
answer the question, we just need to clarify what is veganism. So yeah, what does it mean to be vegan, first of all?
I mean, I was kind of aware already, and I've heard your previous explanations, which I was pretty sort of aligned with and understood. But
Sure.
you wouldn't consume or use direct animal products or byproducts.
Yeah, so it's basically the ethical principle that humans should live without exploiting other animals. And what I mean by exploiting is using them in a way that goes against their interests for our selfish purposes. So we don't view them as like commodities or our property or as our slaves or as being here to serve us. We view them as individuals like we are, who are worthy of respect. So do you think we should respect other animals?
Yes, I think we should respect them completely.
Okay. And do you think that it is possible to truly respect them if we are exploiting them?
I do. I suppose the argument there is on the point of exploit. So, like what you said previously was about the domestication of animals. So at the point they're domesticated, that there is a purpose for that domestication. So
sure.
These, for example, cattle was the previous example, so I'll continue with that. Cattle would not be, at their current state, they're not wild animals.
Yes,
they have a purpose.
They aren't wild animals.
So there is a purpose of cattle, modern breeds of cattle. There's almost, especially let's say in the UK, there's almost no breeds of cattle left that would be seen wild on their own, no ownership or farmed breeds.
Okay.
And I think it sort of boils down to the point of these breeds now. They're not here just to live a life. They're here to serve a purpose.
Yeah, so we bred them into existence to exploit them, to use them for our selfish purposes. So do you think that, the question is, do you think that we can respect them if we are using them for our selfish purposes and not considering their best interests?
Well, do you or would you have a dog?
I do have a dog, yeah.
You do have a dog. Okay, so yeah. I assume, just to confirm, you'd agree that on the same principles that almost all modern breeds of dogs are domesticated from in a similar process to domesticated farm animals.
Yes.
Are dogs domesticated and being exploited?
Yes.
You agree they are being exploited?
Yes. Yes. And
but
like how
is that okay?
I'm against...
Is that okay? Yeah. Where's your justification for, say, your dog compared to?
Yeah. So I'm not opposed to people rescuing animals and putting them in a situation that's better than their previous situation. So because that wouldn't be exploitation, because you're considering what's in their best interest. So if somebody has a cow, they're taking care of that cow, but they're not using them. I think that that's fine. In the same way, if somebody has a dog, perhaps they've adopted the dog from the shelter, they're giving them a better life because that dog already exists. I'm not against that. But what I am against is breeding dogs into existence for our entertainment purposes. So it's just about that exploitation. So yeah, we have to consider, in my opinion, that this is what I'm proposing, is we consider what's best for them. What we consider what's in their interest, not what's going to make me happy, or I want a dog because I want that source of entertainment. We consider, I mean, if we benefit from it, I think that's absolutely fine. It's
just to sort of clarify your point, just so I'm sort of happy on that point you made. You're happy with, sort of, say you went to some sort of dog rescue, I can't think of the word for it now, sort of kennels, right? So you're giving the dog a better life. You agree with that?
Yeah.
Do you agree with the premise of breeding dogs for sale? And
no. Because,
no, you don't. Okay.
Yeah, that's the commodification of other animals. It's not in their interest to be bred into existence to be somebody else's entertainment. Right.
Okay.
But again, I just want to go back to my question because I don't think I got a clear answer on that. But is it respectful? Because you said we should respect other animals, right? Is it respectful to exploit them? So to use them in a way that goes against their interest for our selfish purposes?
I think as humans, as natural omnivores, I think there is a justification. I do, however, think.
What do you mean by that? Sorry, I think that there's
which part? Sorry,
to explore there. So you're saying we're natural omnivores?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's the relevance of that? What do you mean by we're natural omnivores?
So we are, as humans, we are able to sort of we in conjunction we would be able to eat both plants and animals.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we can. Do you think that something is moral just because we have the ability to do it?
Well, I suppose it boils down to ability versus necessity.
Yeah, correct.
Would be your argument. Yes.
Do you think that it's necessary? I mean, again, I just want to go back to the definition of exploitation, because the definition of exploitation is using them for our own selfish purposes. It doesn't cover, what you might consider necessity, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, do you think that we do have to use animals at all in any circumstance, or you in your situation?
I think this is the stance. It's going wider, but to get the broad stance, I think yes, there is a necessity for eating meat, but I don't think that necessity
Right.
necessarily extends to factory farming.
So wait, why do you
high
think
volume meat
there's a
production.
necessity?
So for legitimate sort of biological and nutritional purposes, I think it is necessary.
I'm a nutritionist, by the way, bro.
Proportionally.
I'm a nutritionist. Can you tell me what exactly we need from animal products, from meat specifically? You said.
So talking about so fats, certain vitamins that are high in
Which
certain
ones?
meats. That I couldn't name
Wait,
particular vitamins off the top of my head. I'm not
Let's do
breaking it
this.
down to particular vitamins, but
So let's do this. Let's do this. I'm gonna ask you. Okay, so if I take 500,000 people and I split them into groups, and half of them are strictly on a plant-based diet, and half of them on an omnivorous diet, right? So 500,000 people, we do this, and we do this for 30 years, and then we check the data after 30 years. Will you trust the data?
providing the data says what exactly?
So whatever the result of the data is, will you trust the result of the data?
But what's the data looking to? What's the result of the data to
So
see?
the
to see
data.
what?
So the data. By the way, when we conduct scientific studies, we don't look at. We're not looking for a result, because that would be begging the question. That would be a fallacious way of doing an investigation. The way we do it is we ask a question, and the question being asked is, can you be healthy on a plant-based diet? So whatever the result is at the end of this 30-year study would be a pretty convincing result, a pretty compelling result, wouldn't you say so, given that it's on 500,000 people and over 30 years of data?
So just to confirm, you're not looking for a specific result. You're not testing for a specific result. You're just seeing if there is a result, if any.
Yeah, exactly. We're just measuring data, and then we're looking at the outcomes from the data.
Yes and no. Yes and no. Obviously,
Yes and no. So
to an
what type
extent,
of evidence?
yes, you can live on a plant-based diet. It's
So
when you
wait,
boil down to the real intricacies of, are you safe? Like, is it
So 500,000 of data. So if 500,000 of people and 30 years of data for 500,000 of people, which is a lot of data. We also have studies done on identical twins. We have a lot of studies done. Like, if none of these convince you, what type of evidence do you need to see to be convinced that you can thrive? And don't mean healthy, but be at your best on a plant-based diet.
I mean, my argument isn't really based on whether or not you can
Evidence.
thrive or not. I believe that there's vegans who are more than healthy and can live quite happy, healthy lives on their diet.
So how is consuming animals or anything that comes out of them a necessity then, if you acknowledge that?
Because it's a modern food. It's a modern food source. To go full vegan would be extremely expensive to make an immediate change.
Well, what's the evidence for that?
Well, the changeover.
What makes
The
you think
changeover.
that
It's incredibly reliant.
what makes you think that it's expensive?
We have data also for that, by the way. We have data also on how expensive is it to switch to a plant-based diet. We have
I'm not talking on the literals of switching to a plant-based diet, but the conversion of the system, the wider food production system.
It would be better for everyone. Wait. Well, just to ask, because I had to ask this from the beginning. It sounds like you're saying a lot of things against veganism, and it's a conversation whether veganism is relevant or not. And I don't know. I mean, I guess that's okay. But are these the reasons why you choose to buy animal products, or are these just reasons why you think veganism doesn't work everywhere or something?
I wasn't saying veganism doesn't work, and I don't have an issue with veganism at all.
Is this
I
why?
completely welcome.
Is this what's keeping you? Is this what's keeping you from being vegan? All these reasons that you come up so far. Maybe you can't be healthy. The system expensive. All this. Is this what's keeping you from being vegan?
No, that's purely personal choice.
Well, if you found out that you can be healthy on a plant-based diet, and it would be within your budget, hell, maybe even cheaper than what you're spending now, would you then be vegan and stop oppressing animals?
No, I don't think I would.
There you go.
Yeah. So. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I don't think you really did answer my initial question because, you said that we should respect other animals. I asked you twice previously if we can truly respect them if they're being exploited for their body parts.
Do you think an animal on a farm, on a high welfare farm, has a good life?
Well, why? Look, you're not engaging with my questions, and to be honest with you, that question is besides the point because even if they are having a good life, they're being exploited for their body parts. Why is it okay to take that away from them? Like, that is not an argument. That is not an argument.
If you were having a good life, but say you died tomorrow in some tragic accident, for example, you wouldn't then say that the life wasn't worth. You wouldn't then say that the life wasn't worth it.
That's not analogous. What would be analogous is saying, you know what, I'm going to have a baby, I'm going to bring a baby into existence, I'm going to exploit them for what their body produces, and then I'm going to take their life before they've even reached puberty for my purposes. That would be analogous. Would that be fair?
Are you talking about your own child in this instance, or what exactly?
I'm asking you if that would be fair. Look, if you're not willing to answer questions,
what would be fair? I'm not clear on what you're asking, really. I'm not going to answer a question if I'm not clear.
Would that be fair to the individual?
Would that be respectful? Having the baby or the baby itself?
The baby, would that be respectful to them?
Well, I think respect is it's a human emotion, and I think it's
in your opinion. You're not answering your questions.
You can't apply human emotions to animals.
Would you feel respected? Would you feel respected if somebody did that to you? That's the question.
No, but the point, you can't apply.
Okay, so if you wouldn't
human
be,
emotion,
if you wouldn't feel
can't
respected,
apply human emotion and rationale to animals. That's impossible.
First of all, respect is not an emotion. It's more of a state towards somebody, right? It's more of a status. I respect you, you respect me. Are you saying animals should not be respected?
It's a human concept.
It doesn't matter whether it's a human concept or not. There's a lot of human concepts that define the relationships with us and other animals. It doesn't matter that it's a human concept. It defines something that exists already. Respect is a way we treat others. Respect is a way where we interact with others, including with other animals. It's a human concept. Only the definition of it is a human concept. Only the abstractization of it is a human concept. But everything else is as natural as it comes. A lot of animals respect each other in nature. They don't call it respect, but it is respectful. So don't tell me that respect doesn't exist in nature, because it does.
Well, what you're referring to there is respect. You're referring to respect as the interaction. Whereas
that's what respect
when
is.
I'm being asked, you're not asking respect as the interaction. You're asking respect as the emotive feeling towards the other.
No, you're being asked if it's respectful to bring into existence a sentient being, use them, and then unalive them for your own selfish needs or pleasures.
Yeah. Well, plus you've already said that we should respect other animals. So why do you think that we should respect them if you're saying, oh, but that's a human emotion or whatever? You already agree that we should. And the question simply now is it respectful to exploit them? Would you feel respected if you were being exploited for those things?
The point I am making, and the point I initially made on the basis of respect was one.
I'm going to move on unless you want to say anything else, Chip, because he's not answering questions.
I am answering the question. I think.
No, you're not.